Today we are going to discuss the array addressing. In the last lectures, we talked about the linear and non-linear data structure. You know that array is a collection of homogeneous data type elements, and you are aware that these elements are stored in memory in contiguous fashion. That means all the elements are stored in contiguous memory location, and if we know the address of first element, then by just using pointer arithmetic, the all elements of that array can be accessed. So there are different addressing mechanism are available, and followed by different programming languages. So we are going to discuss this. Firstly, we will take two-dimensional array so that you have some basic concept, and then we will generalized. So suppose we have a array, two-dimensional array A of dimension m cross n, and suppose we are taking the subscripts first dimension from 1 to m and second dimension from 1 to n. So m cross n elements will be stored in this array. Some programming languages like C have lower bound 0, not 1. But like the Fortran or the Pascal have lower bound 1. So different programming languages may have different lower bound and upper bound. So we can use this formula: length of the dimension of each array is equal to upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. For example, this is a array NUM have two dimension, and this shows that lower bound is 2 and upper bound is 5, and the second dimension lower bound is minus 3 and upper bound 1. So the length of first dimension, this 2 to 5, length will be upper bound 5 minus lower bound 2 plus 1, that is 4. Similarly, the length of second dimension, upper bound 1 minus lower bound, that is minus 3 plus 1, and that is 5. So by this simple formula, you can calculate the length of each array. Now, the elements of two-dimensional array can be stored in two fashion. The first one, column measure order, and second one, row measure order. Column measure order means the first column of array will be stored firstly, then second column, then third column, and so on. And in row measure order means the first row will be stored, then second row, then third row, and so on. So suppose we take firstly the column measure order. In column measure order, suppose elements are stored and we want to find out the memory address of element which is stored in jth row and in kth column. So the address of this element will be the base address. Suppose it is any value. Suppose this is base address plus here W is one element memory space required by one element. W is number of words or locations required. So this is W. So base address plus this W multiplied by जितने भी एलिमेंट्स इसके पहले स्टोर्ड हैं, multiplied by the elements already stored in memory. So you know, if we take column measure order, that means here jth row and kth column. So that means k minus 1 column already stored. So k minus 1 column, and in each column how many elements? You know, this is m cross n matrix. M cross n matrix means there are m row. So in each column there will be m elements. So m multiplied by k minus 1 elements will be in k minus 1 column, plus this is the jth element. So j minus 1 elements are previously stored. So after that this element will be stored. So this is a very simple formula. Similarly, in row measure order, for same element, if it is stored in row measure order, then formula will be base address plus W, and it is stored in row measure order, then first row will be stored firstly, then second row, then third row, then fourth row, and so on. So it means j minus 1 row is already stored. So j minus 1 multiplied by, in each row there will be m cross n matrix hai, then n elements. So n multiplied by j minus 1 plus kth column. So that means previously there are k minus 1 elements. So this is the formula. Suppose take an example. The value of m is 25. The value of n is 4. That is 24. 25 multiplied by 4 matrix. The name of matrix is suppose score. Base address suppose given है 200. जो required one element के लिए required memory space है, that is 4 byte. And suppose elements are stored in row measure order, then find the address of this element 12th row and third column. So the address of this element will be base address. We are using the formula base address 200 given plus W, that is 4, and this is the previous elements indexes. Here you know the value 4 and then 12. This is the 12 minus 1 plus 3 minus 1, and after computation we will get 384. Now if we derive this formula for multi-dimensional array, it may be n cross n dimensional array. Suppose m1 cross m2 cross m3 cross mn. So the n dimensional array is a collection of this m1 multiplied by m2 multiplied by m3 and so on multiplied by mn data elements. Again, suppose we are assuming the elements are stored from 1 to m1, m1 to m2 and so on. Then elements of A with subscript this can be accessed that in k1th row, sorry, in kth dimension, first dimension k1, second dimension k2, and in last dimension kn. So by this subscript we can access each and every element of this multi-dimensional array. If elements are stored in row measure order, then what will be? Like you can see in previous example, if row measure order, then last subscript varies first, because first row will be stored then second row will be stored, then third row will be stored. That means last subscript varies first, then next to last varies second, and so on. Reverse will be in column measure order. First subscript varies first, then second subscript varies, and so on. So again, this is a general formula for row measure order and column measure order. I am just taking a. So firstly, we should compute the length of the that dimension. So this is general formula. The length of ith dimension is equal to upper bound minus lower bound plus 1. We have already discussed this. For a given subscript ki, we should compute effective index. Like in two-dimensional array, we derived. So effective index of Li is a number of indices preceding ki in the index. So we will compute for each dimension effective index ei is equal to ki minus lower bound. So row measure order formula will be the, and this is the element for which we want to compute the memory address k1 k2 to kn. So base address plus w and this previous elements stored. You can remember easily, like this is in increasing order 1 2, फिर 2 3 3 4 and so on, ln minus 1 ln, at last n. Here also you can see similarity, E then L, E then L, E then L. I'm just saying this just to remember because it is needed in when you want to compute. So E1 L2 plus E2, and this multiplication will be in whole this term. Again plus E3 and multiplied by L4 in whole this term, this complete term, plus next one term, and so on. In column measure order, base address plus W, and reverse it will be start from En ln minus 1 plus En minus 2, complete multiplication ln minus 2 plus, and at last to E1. Now just take an example. Suppose we have this three-dimensional array. Lower bound 2, upper bound 8, lower bound minus 4, upper bound 1, lower bound 6, upper bound 10. Suppose base address is 200 and one element requires 4 bytes. So we compute L1, L2, L3. You know formula, upper bound minus lower bound plus 1, upper bound minus lower bound plus 1, and so on. Now we should compute the effective indices. Suppose we want to compute the address of this element M5 first dimension, minus 1 second dimension, and 8 in third dimension. Then you know formula, this 5 minus its lower bound, that is this 2. So 5 minus 2, 3 is the effective index. Again effective index E2, this minus 1 minus its lower bound, that is this minus 4. So this minus 1 minus 4 will be plus 3. So now third one, this 8 minus its lower bound 6. So 8 minus 6, 2. So this is a E1, E2, E3. This is L1, L2, and L3. Now this formula 200, this is base address plus W, that is 4. You know, in row measure order, the formula will be E1 L2 plus E2 multiplication multiplied by L3 plus E3. So values are already available. After calculation, we will get 628. That means if this element is stored in row measure order, you will get 628 its memory address. And suppose element is stored in column measure order, then formula will be, it will start from last subscript, that is E3 L2 plus E2 multiplied by L1 plus E1. And again, after calculation, you will get 632. So by this way, you can compute the different elements of the array. Enough for today. In next lecture, we will discuss sparse matrices. Thank you.